I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network, where tonight it will be the stars and cars of the iRacing Sprint Car Cup, coming to you from Levi Strauss Speedway, for those of you that were fans of the NASCAR Dirt to Daytona game. Otherwise, the artist formerly known as, I guess, the late, great Concord Speedway, Concord, North Carolina. Continuing our lead in to the Memorial Day holiday weekend of racing action, and we are going to have every bit of the iRacing stuff here fired up for you on NRN. As we will pick up, let's see, well, Tracy Penner is sitting on pit lane, so we'll pick up Derek Love in the Street Side Classics. Number 2. 4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in qualifying. D-Love goes quick time on lap number 1 at a 14.103. Zach Evans, how about it? Nice lap, Zach. He's up second quick. 14.370. Second lap for D-Love will be just a tick slower, 14.103 seconds. Let's pick up Jonathan Letourneau as he is on his flying lap, and he's coming around off the turn number 3, I guess. It's either 3 or 5 as Tracy Penner goes quick time. Lap number 2 for Penner as he's down over the line. 14.040 was the first lap. Second lap going to be a 14.628. Now we'll pick up Jeffrey Stanton rolling over the line to complete his second qualification lap. Stanton going to hold on to position number 5. Nate Wenzel over the line to complete his qualification run. He will remain in position number 6. Taking the green flag to start his run, it is the Red Ream Rocket, the number 6 of Josh Batista. Over the start-finish line, lap number 1, 14.705. Lap time record for Josh Batista. Lap number 2 will tick just momentarily here as he comes off of the final corner over the start-finish line. And his second lap going to be a good one, 14.359, going to put him up into position number 5. Pick up the number 16 of Ted Lee. Lee making his way off of the final corner down over the start-finish line, and he is at about a coast. Lee will time 16th out of the 16 cars in tonight's race. My name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. We do appreciate you joining us here on a Tuesday night. Doubleheader championship night action coming up. We'll talk about that in just a little bit here. The TNT Shock Series will crown their 7th season champion here in just a few... just about an hour and a half or so. We will know who the champion is, whether it's Jane Watson or Brian LaBarge. But now we've still got some sprint car racing to do here first. 45 laps will be the distance here tonight. Let's take a look at your iRacing Sprint Car Cup Official Series starting grid here at Concord Speedway. On the pole with a lap time of 14.040 seconds, it is the race EPI number 1 of Tracy Penner, with Hunter Racing Engines also on the sponsorship of that machine. The number 2 Street Side Classics entry of Derek Love will occupy the outside of the front row, only 63 thousandths of a second off the quick time. Row number 2, the Miller High Life Special. Put Jim Hurdebeest back on the front row at the Indy 500. Austin Rich Miller driving that Miller High Life Special tonight. He is inside of row number 2. To his outside, the Harbor Freight Tools number 5 at Dylan Wielaszynski. Very, very nice qualifying run there for Dylan. Row number 3, the Me Fine number 7 of Zach Evans. T. Watson Racing Setup's also on the side of that machine. And to the outside will be the Red Ream Rocket. Number 6 of Josh Batista. That car will be the 20 on the racetrack and the 6 in your timing and scoring pylon. Inside of row number 4, the Napa Auto Parts, Rockwell, North Carolina, number 94 of Jeffrey Stanton. That car will be the 3 in your timing scoring pylons. Nate Wenzel on the outside of row number 4 in car number 10. Fifth row of the grid will have the TNT Racing number 9 of South Carolina's Todd Taylor, and to his outside, Richard Homan in the Chiquita Banana number 15. That is a fantastic livery on that car. Love the bananas all over the front of it. It's pretty hilarious. Row number 6, Jonathan Latordo out of New England alongside of James Nunn in car number 12. Row number 7, Laura Gerhardt in the Kibu number 8 from Germany alongside of Ronald Gibbons in the Scoopco number 13. Final row of the grid will have Max Rooney out of Ohio in the Advanced Auto Parts Ford Performance number 11 alongside of Ted Lee in the number 16. 16 cars on the grid for tonight's race. Field making their way off of, I guess, what you would call turn number 2. Pace car already on pit lane. Field is under the control of Tracy Petter. They will make their way into turns 3 and 4. Onto the home stretch. Green flag goes in the air. We're underway here at Concord. Place almost like an overgrown Phoenix in terms of the banking. Very quick sweeping dogleg once you exit turn number 2. D-Love a little bit loose there on quarter exit. Shoots up the racetrack. May open up the door for Austin Rich Miller. Austin Rich Miller to go on the attack. A little bit further back here, Todd Taylor, Zach Evans battling for position number 8. This race will go by in a huge hurry if it stays green. Could be one of the fastest races we will ever call here on the National Racing Network, as they are already working lap number 4 of 45. One car bouncing it off the outside wall. That looks like it was Zach Evans in the number 7. Going to get a good run off of turn 4 that time. Not able to do anything with it, though, just up ahead. Going to be a good fight between Wenzel and Taylor in the fight for position number 7. Leaders all strung out about a quarter of a second apart. Back to 6th place, Jeffrey Stanton, who sits a half second back of Josh Batista. Everybody behaving themselves there. Best battle we're going to have right now. It's going to be here between Zach Evans, Richard Homan, and James Nunn. And even these guys all pretty much single file. Oh, things getting tight at the front. Derek Love around Tracy Petter for the race lead. Petter going to come right back in the fight, though. Here's Austin Rich Miller. Call him 2 car lengths off the back of Petter. Cuts it down to 1 as they get to exiting turn number 2. Great run for Petter that time. He's got to get off the throttle before the dog leg. Top 3 in a very tight battle here at the front of the field. And this is also the battle for the championship. 8 weeks counted. Derek Love sitting on 1,203 points. Oh, maybe Austin Rich Miller hard on the brakes. Almost getting into the back of Tracy Petter. Good little stack up there for 4th, 5th, and 6th, just behind the race leaders as well. That's going to be Vilashinsky, Batista, and Stanton. Before we show you that battle, let's show you the pass for the lead. Just a little bit of a slide high by Tracy Petter. Great quarter exit for Derek Love, and easily able to make the pass. Todd Taylor, Zach Evans continuing to run side by side. This is that fight a little bit deeper in the pack. Slide back up here, though. Pick up Batista, Stanton, and Vilashinsky. They get nose to tail. The battle for the race lead sitting about a car length apart. Already 1/3 of the way through this race, 3 minutes and 34 seconds in as they cross the start-finish line. I told you it'd go by in a hurry. Vilashinsky having a look inside of Stanton. Oh, baby, Jeffrey Stanton almost up into the outside retaining wall. Seeing some happy reap noises from Sidon in the comments a little bit ago. Taking a look here at the front, D-Love, as they work their way through lap traffic, starting to open up the gap ever so slightly. But as soon as Tracy Petter gets some clear racetrack, he starts to close right back in. Petter may have gotten the car left side tires down onto the apron through the dogleg. He gave up a ton of time to D-Love that time through 3 and 4. Oh, but Love's going to get caught up a little bit. Oh, nice job slicing the way through the lap traffic. Oh, and Petter just gets no help. Oh, and a big slide for Petter. Oh, saw a little smoke off the wall. Not sure if that was Derek Love or not. But Petter and Austin Rich Miller now both able to finally clear the cars of Gibbons and Rooney. So tough to get around the lap traffic here. Slide back here and pick up Batista, Vilashinsky, and Stanton. Now the lap car is able to get themselves up to the high side. Sometimes it's the trickiest for the leader in the second place car to get through. Stanton kind of settling the battle down here just a little bit. He's now going to have the peak to the outside through 3 and 4. Maybe try the crossover down the straightaway. Nothing going there that time for Jeffrey Stanton. We're going to slide back up here to the head of the line. Well, at least towards the head of the line anyway. Tracy Petter sitting about 1 second back of Derek Love, and it is clear racetrack now for a good bit of this race as we are already past the halfway point. Race leaders have settled down, chilled themselves out. We'll slide back here to Batista, Vilashinsky, and Stanton. Zach Evans and Todd Taylor continuing their battle. Taylor may have gotten a piece of the outside wall. Let's take a look and get ready, and we'll go on board here with Dylan Vilashinsky. Fire up the Exorcist cam. That car getting a little bit sideways at the exit of turn number 2. Oh, Batista might have clipped the wall. Spin the cage cam around. There's Jeffrey Stanton. Vilashinsky again high exiting turn 2. And Stanton just has absolutely nowhere that he can go. Spin the camera back around here and get you the look of Vilashinsky trying to chase down Josh Batista. Just nothing happening there, though. Lap 33 of 45 is up on the scoreboard. 13 circuits remaining. Vilashinsky clips the outside wall. Oh, and he's going to go around off of turn number 2. No caution yet. Now the caution flag's going to come out. Oh, a tough break for Dylan Vilashinsky. Oh, and it looked like somebody spun trying to avoid that race car. Let's take a look here at the NRN replay. See if we can see what happened here to Wilashinski. Did he get some help from Stan? Oh, yes, he did. A little bit of non-consensual right side romance there, courtesy of Jeffrey Stanton. Puts us under the caution flag for the first time here tonight. And the guy who absolutely did not want to see that is this man, Derek Love. That car has been a rocket ship. And take a look at Tracy Petter all the way down on the apron. Josh Batista doing much the same thing, trying to cool these tires off a little bit. Taking a look at the weather conditions, 82 degree ambient, 94 degree track temperature. So on the warm side, but I would also not say crazy hot by any stretch. Right about the time of the caution, sign on checking in saying D Love is conquering Concord. Yeah. Well, he was anyway. And with laps not counting, it's still going to be 12 laps to go at the conclusion of this race. We are about 25 minutes or so away from our time off air for the sprint cars. Something tells me this race will be done in plenty of time. We'll get the victory lane interviews in tonight. 28:44, the strength of field for tonight's race. So I don't think it's going to have a huge impact on this points championship, especially this late in the season with only one round to go following tonight. But the battle is close. Derek Love is your points leader, sitting on 1,203 points to 1,188 for Tracy Petter. My math is not good, but I believe that's about 15 points. So definitely still close here with only 2 rounds remaining. And next week we head off to the Milwaukee Mile. That race will be interesting. Sprint cars at Milwaukee. Oh my goodness. Going to be a handful there. Derek Love will lead the field through turns 3 and 4. Back onto the front stretch. Green flags in the air. We are underway one more time here at Concord Speedway. Two extended palms this time by the start finish line. 10 circuits remaining here around Concord Speedway. Such a fantastic racetrack. Such a shame it's a Copart lot now. Copart sucks, and if you work for Copart, tough. Tracy Petter just has absolutely nothing for Derek Love. In fact, he's going to be battling also Rich Miller and Josh Batista. And Miller's going to hit a point here where he's going to have to go because Batista is absolutely charging almost into the back bumper of Petter at the midpoint of turns 1 and 2. The gap still sitting at about 4/10. Call it 6 car lengths as they cross the stripe that time by, making it 7 circuits remaining. So far, only 1 car out of the race. That was Jonathan Letourneau making contact in the incident with Dylan Wilashinski going around. Wilashinski back up into the 9th position. But it's going to be a 5-spot drop from where he started this race. 5 to go this time by, and Austin Rich Miller just not able to do much of anything with Tracy Petter. One small mistake entering turn number 1. He missed the corner entry once, and that may be all that it took for Derek Love to possibly claim a victory here tonight. Coming up next, 9:45 p.m. Eastern, the stream will kick you right over to it. The TNT Shock Series Championship race from Gateway. James Watson, Brian LaBarge, and Wes Shire all mathematically eligible. Watson in the driver's seat to try and claim his first TNT Shock Series championship, and that is going to be a great race. Gateway, one of the best cars on the platform for the PM18. Jeffrey Stanton back to the 9th position. He's battling with Wilashinski. It's all sitting there briefly up on the high side as we are down to 2 to go. We'll slide back and pick up this battle because it is a good one here. Give it a lap or so's worth of coverage. Good Lord. Oh, hold up. Off the final corner, checkered flag in the air. Derek Love claims the win. We didn't even see the graphics change to 1 to go. Checkered flag is out. Derek Love claims the win at Concord. Tracy Petter comes home second. Austin Rich Miller will round out your podium. And it looks like we may have yard sailed several race cars here on the front stretch. D-Love going to park it in victory lane and quickly exit the race car. Let's take a look at your race results. Took 13 minutes and 52 seconds to complete this one. Derek Love getting the win over Tracy Petter and Austin Rich Miller. Josh Batista and Zach Evans complete the top 5. 6 through 10 tonight going to be Nathan Wenzel, Jeffrey Stanton, Dylan Wilashinski, James Nunn, and Todd Taylor. Second page of the leaderboard will have Richard Homan as the final car on the lead lap. Max Rooney, Ted Lee, Ronald Gibbons, and Laura Gerhardt all finishing 1 lap down. And as we mentioned, Jonathan Letourneau going out 31 laps behind your race winner. Let's head on down to victory lane and pick up your race winner tonight, Mr. Derek Love. And I tell you what, Derek, the race was a really good one. Talk to us a little bit about how good the car was, because Tracy made one uncharacteristic bobble into turn 1. You took advantage, and it was lights out from there.
Man, I feel like I've been in enough situations where I've had to say it's just going to take one bobble out of him, and I'm going to be ready to bounce. And more times than not, it's not there, and he drives to perfection out front, man. But we had a machine that the babes back at the shop put together for us here. The Street Side Classics machine, man, it was a rocket ship. We were out here practicing at the 7 o'clock race earlier, and this thing was lightning fast. So we made a couple little more tweaks to it, and I knew once we got some heat in the tires that we'd be charging towards the front. And man, that right there on lap 8, that crossover move, I was just watching the replay of it. That I kind of somehow anticipated that he was going to go drive it in a little too deep and drift up. So I kind of catch the brakes a little early, anticipating trying to do a crossover, and man, what a beautiful move it ended up being. That was the race-winning move of the night, I'd say.
Yeah, and a very good one at that, because it seemed like track position was an absolute key here tonight. Passing was very difficult. Is that just down to kind of the layout of the racetrack, and you never really get a good spot to set up a pass?
Yeah, and that's, exactly, and kind of plays into my other big thought here tonight was, like, I really didn't know how far back he was. I'd occasionally hear it from the spotter, and you just don't have the time to look in the mirror, look on your relative, or anything like that. So I really just kind of had to, out of my peripheral, just know that he was falling back a little bit. And that's what happens is you just don't have that time to do anything, whether it make a pass or you don't have the time to build up the momentum. And you really got to wait for someone to kind of make a mistake. If everyone's just kind of hitting their marks, it's real tough, but it's pretty fun around here when you get it right.
Yeah, now we look ahead 1 week from tonight, the season finale at the Milwaukee Mile. You're going to go into that race with, at minimum, a 15-point lead over Tracy. Are you starting to feel confident in possibly picking up a championship?
Honestly, I didn't even know till like I think it was a week or two ago that I was even in the hunt for it. I thought I was having kind of a little off season. I know I am in the Silver Crown, so I thought it was kind of carrying over to this. And I was kind of shocked to see I was up front in the points, and I feel pretty confident going into it because I don't know if Tracy's going to run Milwaukee next week. You might have to ask him on the broadcast. He's ran before, but sometimes he doesn't like those bigger tracks. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing the showdown if it materializes. But, Derek, congratulations. Another win on the season. 28 starts, 17 wins, and 25 top 5 finishes. Just an incredible season for you thus far. Congratulations on it, and give us all those sponsor plugs and shout-outs before we let you out of here.
Yeah, let's. What do you say we do it again next week? put one more win up on the board. Hopefully some others, expedition races throughout the week. Man, the baby's back at the shop, put together a street-size classic machine that was in Victory Lane tonight, and got to thank them and yourself, and we'll see you again.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to check in with us here. And now it's time for us to talk to our runner-up finisher, Mr. Tracy Petter. And Tracy, it was a good race tonight. I said it to Derek. One uncharacteristic mistake was really all it took, because it seemed like from there, between tire temperature and just the layout of the racetrack, passing was really, really going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's really hard to pass when you're so focused on controlling your car. Yeah, there's just like no grip out there. It's probably the hardest combo on the game. I was shocked when I went to go practice earlier to get some test laps and how little grip there was. You're like 50% throttle most of the time.
Yeah, that's one of the things about the sprint car that a lot of people just don't get. They hop in the car and go, it's a sprint car, go fast machine, and you hardly ever get the thing to full throttle.
Oh, a lot of the tracks, I think you can get it down to full throttle for the most part, but they're like Concord and Myrtle. There's a couple that are just like, I don't know if it's the grip in it or something. You can't get on the throttle.
Well, one place that you will absolutely get it to full throttle is next week at the Milwaukee Mile. The question is, are we going to see you racing there? A championship is on the line, but I know you're also not the biggest fan of the bigger racetracks in these cars.
No, you will not be seeing me. I didn't even want to do this race tonight just because I knew that you really can't race here. I just had to do it to get the championship locked up. And with me getting second place right there, it takes away my slinger finish, which was dead last, which is like 70 points. I just gained like 80 points, so I don't need to race Milwaukee.
Well, let's see. It's not quite. Actually, you are the points leader now after scoring this week. At least that's what the update is showing. 1274 to 1241. So it's a 31-point lead for you over D-Love. But whether we see you or not next week, thank you very much for a great season. We really do appreciate you coming to hang out here on Tuesdays. And get all those sponsor plugs and shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, thanks to you guys for broadcasting the whole season. It's nice to get a little bit of notice for these cars, how dead they are. And shout-out to EPI and SRS.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us here in the booth for a minute. And, man, this one is, unfortunately, it doesn't look like we have Austin Rich Miller that we can talk to tonight. But, yeah, seeing the point standings as they are right now, they have just updated. And we are seeing Tracy Petter sitting 1274 to 1241 over Derek Love. It's going to be tight next week, and especially if Tracy does not run, oh buddy, Derek Love is going to have to go out and win and hope the strength of field is a beast. But with that, time for us to get the heck on out of here, because we got to head on over to the TNT Shock Series finale at Gateway. That race starting at 9:45, and as soon as we finish up and hit the end stream button here, don't go anywhere. Your feed will kick you right over to it. With that, for everybody here at the National Racing Network who helps us get these shows on the air, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us, and we'll talk to you all soon. See you in a little bit, everybody.